there have been requests for me to talk more about what a music prosperity guide actually does. And I was thinking about this. It seemed pretty reasonable because one of the most helpful insights for me was when somebody that I viewed as super successful, had it all together, really organized, when she let down her curtain and let me see backstage of what was really going on. It was a mess, really, back there. It was just way more was going on behind the scenes than I really had any idea. And so I realized where I was at the time, I was just setting too high of expectations for myself. And, you know, becoming prosperous doesn't just happen overnight. It happens from a series of small habits consistently done over time that gets you there. It's intentional. And sometimes it's just not so pretty in the middle. So I was thinking about um, how far I had come since I started coaching 6 years ago and really truly became an entrepreneur, um, embraced it 100% and said, this is scary and I'm just going to do it anyway. And I'm pretty proud about how far I've come in the last 6 years. But I also realize I have a long way to go. And I'm just in a really great position to show you guys what life actually looks like while I'm documenting for myself how my progress is coming along. So let me tell you what I did today. The first thing that I do even before I get to my desk, which, by the way, I name these little segments at my desk because whether I'm actually at my desk or one of my other favorite places to work in my house, or I happen to be somewhere out, somewhere else. That's kind of the beauty of how I've set up my business. I can work anywhere. So anywhere can be my desk. So surprise, it might not be the same spot. I'm actually at my desk with my computer, like where a normal desk right now. Um, but before I even get to my desk, before I even get out of bed, the first thing I do is I set my intentions for the day. And if I get carried away and I'm like, oh, I really have to get up early because I got to get all this stuff done before this happens or whatever, and I don't do that, I really kind of feel lost in the woods without a compass kind of situation. So this daily habit of just being clear about what do I want the outcomes from today to look like. And sometimes I just imagine one small part of what I know is coming for the day. And sometimes I'm able to get through a couple pieces of the day. But it, for me, is a really great way to wake up. Usually, after I do that, I'm ready to get out of bed. Um, Otherwise, when I wake up, I would just rather lay in bed for a little while. So this turns out to be a fantastic habit for me. And it's really, really helped with my clarity. So after I got up, got my coffee, got to my desk, I had a really great meeting with another Music Legacy International member. And if you don't know about that yet, check out Music Legacy International. And when you get your free account, make sure that you mention me. And he was from the he is from the UK. And through our conversation, I was able to understand a little bit more about what he was working on with his project. And so I was able to connect him to a friend of mine working on a similar thing. I think they would be great collaborating together. I know they're going to have a great conversation. So I was able to do that. And then I also reached out to a couple friends of mine that I know do podcasts because he was looking to get on some more podcasts. So I do a lot of that as a music prosperity guide, and I love doing that. That's been my favorite part of the job. So, after that, I worked on my presentation for my monthly root cause challenge event, and I partnered with Music Legacy International to do this because they're providing resources for music artists to build their music careers that maybe they wouldn't have access to as an independent artist. Um, so, pretty excited about doing these monthly events with them. And so, what I do is I help you find a little more clarity on what would make your music career working in the music industry feel a little easier. And so, I'm in the middle of this journey as well, the messy middle. I'm putting my puzzle pieces together. And not only do I love to sing and create music, but I really like having these conversations about what hidden patterns are keeping you from earning what you're worth in the music industry. And so that's what we're talking about. And this month, I think this is going to be a really fun kind of conversation, but we're going to do a little exercise around if I had $1 million. So, kind of working out some of the details on how I'm going to have that flow. We're definitely going to be talking about the beliefs that you have about why you can't earn more in the music industry. So, we're going to be getting people's feedback in the room for that. And if you come early, I guess I didn't say the time. So that starts at 7:30. See, even this is messy. So let me just start over. So it's next Tuesday, July 14th at 7:30. That's when the presentation starts. But if you want to come early at 7 o'clock, we're just going to do some open networking and get to know each other, um, other Music Legacy International members. So I always enjoy that time finding out who is in the community with me. So I'm going to put that link in the comments, perhaps somehow. I'm doing this on my phone for the first time, live streaming. I don't know. I don't know. Might not be good. So I'll maybe figure that out before the end of the live stream. But so I worked on that a little bit and I made my thumbnail for this little live stream thing, which gave me my fun Canva time. I love to do me some Canva. So that was pretty much my day so far. Oh, I did miss one major thing, which I think I kind of want to make the point because it ties back into the root cause of why you might not be making as much money as you want to in the music industry. You know, There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are not making as much money as what they hope to in their business. And so sometimes as a strategy, as they're trying to figure out all the pieces on how that it works, because there is a lot to learn, wrap your brain around, to really stand out in the crowd and start to find who your people are and start building your community around your music. So, this is part of the messy middle. This is the main point I want you to remember, but it just completely flew out the window. What I did for the main part of my day, and the reason why I wanna push it out the window, why I didn't wanna really start this live stream, um, and really let down the curtain, is because I spent 6 hours of my day working a part-time job. Did you know there's a lot of entrepreneurs that end up supplementing, their business with a part-time job, or for that matter, are working a full-time job while they're doing their business? And this was something that I didn't realize until I was able to hang around with a bunch of other entrepreneurs and talk to them on this human level and see that sometimes when you look on the websites and look online, it looks like they have everything figured out, but everyone doesn't have everything figured out just yet. And so once you know that, you can really just like have a big sigh of relief because you don't have to hold yourself up to this crazy standard of perfection when you're just getting started or you're just in the messy middle. And you can pretty much expect it to be messy. And it actually feels a lot easier when you can see that it is messy and it's okay that it's messy. This is how you put the puzzle pieces together. This is the little small work that gets done every day, and that mess slowly but surely starts to come together. So, anyway, that's pretty much my main point for today that I think I've really been thinking about. If you are currently working in a full-time job and you're thinking, "Man, I would really, really like to get back into the music industry, and I just can't figure out exactly how to do it." I was talking to somebody earlier this week, and he has a full-time job, he's got kids. You know, how is it responsible to make the transition and follow his dreams and do what he wants to? And my answer was probably not what he was thinking it's going to be, but it's less about figuring out how to make the transition. But first, you need to be clear about what you want to accomplish. And so often I have conversations with people, and when I ask, "What do you want?" it's a very short answer, very vague answer. And that's not how you're going to be able to hit the target in the middle. You don't even know what target you're shooting at just yet. And so I encourage this guy to figure out what it was exactly, what it is exactly that he wants to accomplish, because without that clarity, it just makes it so much harder. All of it, the marketing, the what do I put on my website, how do I get people to help me? All of it is so much more difficult if you don't have that clarity to begin with. So if you're feeling that way too, um, my website's scrolling at the bottom. So book a 15-minute call with me. We'll just find out more about where you're at and what you've tried so far, and what's worked, what hasn't worked. And just like the guy I talked to earlier today, I might refer you to somebody else, um, other connections that I have that'll really help you. Or maybe there's some room for us to collaborate, or another way that would be helpful for us to work together. So, um, book a call with me. And next Tuesday, if you're available, come hang out with Music Legacy International with the Root Cause Challenge. And let's get to the roots of what's going on with you, and figure out what you're going to do with your $1 million. All right. So I'll see you later. I'm making this a regular thing. I'm just gonna say it like out loud. I'm shooting for like 5 days a week. It's a new habit though. So typically I'm really good with a habit until we get to about week 3, and then I start to fall off. So we'll see how this goes.